In the small village nestled deep within the woods lived an old woman named Agnes. She was known for her kind heart and generosity towards everyone who came to visit her cottage. The villagers believed that she had magical powers, as she could always find something delicious to offer them despite having very little herself. One day a stranger arrived at the village with his young daughter. They were traveling from afar and asked for shelter for the night. Agnes welcomed them warmly and offered her best room for their stay. The father thanked her profusely but mentioned that they had heard about an ancient tree in these woods, said to be haunted by spirits who would grant one wish if a coin was placed at its roots. The old woman smiled knowingly and told them of the legend herself. She explained how many people came seeking fortune only to never return due to the dangers that lurked within those woods. However, she added that it was worth trying as everyone deserved their chance for happiness. The father agreed with a heavy heart but promised to return safely or not at all. The next morning, they ventured into the forest accompanied by Agnes's loyal dog, who had been following them since their arrival. As they approached the tree, they noticed that it was indeed surrounded by eerie mist and strange noises coming from within. The girl, being brave as she was, decided to make her wish while her father held back with fear in his eyes. "I wish for my family to be safe and happy forever," said the child solemnly. Instantly, a bright light enveloped them both, and they felt an overwhelming sense of peace. When it subsided, they found themselves standing outside their home, surrounded by loved ones who had gathered to welcome them back with open arms. However, as they rejoiced in their reunion, the villagers noticed something terrifying. Agnes's dog was nowhere to be seen. The old woman herself appeared at the edge of the group, her eyes filled with sorrow and anger. She called out for everyone to gather around as she had a story to tell them all. "I have kept watch over this village for many years," began Agnes. "My powers are not magical but rather granted by those who came before me. I am an ancient guardian of these woods, sworn to protect the innocent and punish those who dare defile it." She looked directly at the stranger's daughter with a fierce glare. "You have disrupted my duty by taking what was not yours. Your wish has cursed us all." With that, she vanished into thin air along with her dog, leaving behind only terror and despair in their wake. The villagers were left to face the consequences of their actions. They had wished for happiness, but instead somehow brought upon themselves a living nightmare. "They've got to find a way to solve this curse or be doomed forever." The villagers were horrified at the turn of events. At first they couldn't believe that their beloved Agnes was no more than a mysterious guardian of the woods. They had never suspected her true identity all those years she had lived among them. They were helpless and didn't know where to start to lift the curse. They consulted every wise man, healer and wizard in the neighboring towns and villages, but to no avail. None could counteract the curse laid upon them by the guardian of the woods. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. The village remained in a state of dread and anxiety. Children cried themselves to sleep, and adults could barely function. In a last-ditch effort, the village council gathered to discuss the situation and decided to send a group of the bravest and strongest men to find the old woman and beg for her mercy. The mission was arduous, but after many weeks, the group finally found the old woman. They pleaded with her and apologized for their mistake, promising to make things right. Agnes listened to their plea with great reluctance. She too had been affected by the curse and regretted putting a curse on the village. Finally, Agnes relented and gave the village an ultimatum. In order to lift the curse, they must bring a rare herb found in the depths of a cave, guarded by the most vicious creature that ever lived. The villagers were terrified, but they knew there was no other way. The bravest warriors set out on the perilous journey into the cave, and after many hardships, they returned with the herb. They presented it to Agnes, who performed a ritual and lifted the curse upon the village. From that day on, the villagers understood the power and dangers of wishes. They vowed to never again take what's not theirs, and to always live with the blessings they already have. They celebrated their newfound freedom with a grand feast in honor of Agnes, whom they now knew as their guardian, who watched over them with kindness and protection.